Let me put one last question, and then I'll take a closing remark, or you can even make your closing remark along with this last question. Who would you say was the best president that the country has ever had? And when would you say was a purple period, a period of goodness within the Nigerian space? So we take that from Mike as a part of his closing remarks, and then we go to X0, and then we go to Outtake. So Mike.
I think the best time where we had the best administration was Gowon's administration. Not because of Gowon, because the people he had in his cabinet, he had people like what's this man from Edo? Anthony Naoro. He had Awolowo. You had other people in his cabinet. Remember that those people, their performance is what made Naira equal to dollar. Nigeria was booming, man. Like, he had a great cabinet. But when Gowon was taken out, and those intelligent people that were under his cabinet became left, and the military guy just took over and with no brain, that's when Nigeria just destroyed. And then the second time where things was going to be better again was when Shagari entered, and then we kind of like allow a bunch of those intelligent people, civilians came back again on his cabinet. I think good performance was going on in certain part, like in Lagos, for example, when Jakonde was building Jakonde schools, and things were about to start coming back again, and then Buhari came in and overthrew them. And
you know those buildings are still there, those Jakonde buildings.
Yeah, I mean, that Jakonde was performing in Lagos, but I don't know about the rest of the country. So, but to me, the only time was that Gowon administration where he had most of the best brains of Nigeria in his cabinet. You know, that was the best time I think Nigeria ever had a good time. But then I can say recently, probably Jonathan was the only thing that Jonathan just had a bunch of corrupt people around him. But he was the guy that was actually.
But he had sharp brains too, you know. But I don't know.
Yeah, he had some sharp brains.
Some of the brains that he had, they are now international figures, like that guy in African Bank and Madam Ngozi.
Madam Ngozi, yes, he had the brains. Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay, thank you, Mike. We reconvene again tomorrow. So that's Mike. It's been a funny one today, but X0. So the same questions by way of our closing remark.
For me, we've never really had a president yet. Take it or leave it. We've never really had a president yet.
But from what we have had,
the greatest was, I would say, well, that was during the Tafawa Balewa.
Wow,
that was
you are going that far back.
Yes, that was the only time we had something glorious. In fact, when I looked at that video where Tafawa Balewa was addressing the world in America and talking about how Nigeria will not lord it on smaller countries, I was so proud, you know. But you know, those things are just talk. Deep down, these people were already in the pockets of the UK, the British. Because what I discovered later was that even Zeke himself was found culprit of stealing during his campaign days.
Yes.
And then, so I'm so disappointed. That's why I say we've never really had a president yet. The president we are going to have is yet to come. But now that we've entered this,
will he ever come? Will he ever come?
That's what I'm saying. It depends on what will happen after this period. That this period of ESN, Oduduwa, IPOB, and all this shit. That this is the worst thing that's happened in our country. So if we come out of this, that's when we'll see a president. But we have never really had a president because I'm disappointed in the litany of idiots that have been discussed. I'm disappointed.
But prepare yourself for disappointment because the same set of names are coming out again. I'm not quite sure how far back you've been listening, but a few days ago we were talking about Tinubu distributing rice in Kano, and Saraki has now gone and bought some rent-a-crowd to be promoting his name in Katsina. So it's the same set of names. It's pretty much.
They will feel the heat. But that's why I'm happy. I don't want to talk too much, but I'm happy that some people are now attacking and getting close to these people. At least this man's house, the governor of Imo State, his house was burned recently. So we need more of those things. I'm not preaching violence, but anywhere those things are coming from, we need more of that.
Just before I let you go, X0, yesterday or the day before, you were mentioning about your farm in Ibarapa, and it struck me because you said it's been about 5 years now since you've not really had are you still in ownership of it, or have you considered it? You said 40 acres. Or have you considered 40 acres of land to the? Have you considered rather it to the Fulanis? Have you given up on it?
I'm not giving up on it. That is why it keeps paining me that 5 years have gone. It's not 40 acres, so 40 hectares.
Hectares.
That's acres. Acres.
Yes.
That's 100 acres.
Wow.
Yes.
That's almost a town.
Yes.
That's a small village.
Yes. When I stand in the middle, I cannot see the end. But that was my dream to come and do things in Nigeria, and then improve my situation. But I lost a lot. I lost like 15 million there, and then we stopped. And then the ballet sometimes ask for some change, and we do things from time to time, and the Agbe group I am in, they ask for some money, sometimes I give to them, but we've not been able to see what is happening in the country. It's not encouraging to go back now because I'll be risking the lives of people, risking my own life. This is where I really want to invest. And that's where these people are going to sit down. These guys, these herdsmen.
A few days ago, and often we say that some of us in diaspora were effectively refugees. So what you are describing is effectively that you are a refugee wherever you are, even though you are comfortable or not, because of course, if you have 40 hectares of land, which is arable and meant to be produced, we are talking about millions of dollars, that we're talking about, that is just laying fallow just because of some dreaded herdsmen. Zero, hopefully we'll have you again. We're going to Isaac. Isaac, your closing remarks.
Thank you. If I want to talk about president based on the history, well, like I don't know if it was a Zero mentioned about Tafawa Balewa. Nigeria was great at that time and well respected, because at that time you can still Nigerian passport can still go to so many countries, not like nowadays that you cannot even travel to Ghana with Nigerian passport. Then after that, I will say Awolowo time that I really know much about. I will say that time was okay too, because I could remember when somebody, those who went to university at that time and some graduate from College of Education, there is a certain, if you have distinction, I don't know if they were paying for that vehicle at that time. Government will give those who graduated in either Polytechnic or College of Education,
either soft car loans, or Volkswagen, they want,
exactly. Then they give a university, they give them periods. That was how life was going. 504.
Was it 404 then? Yeah.
I think either 504 or 404, something like that. I know that they're giving them vehicle at that time, but I don't know if they were paying for it or. And at that time, you can see that even with your ordinary school certificate, you can get good job.
Yes.
And you can plan. You can plan, but now, even if you have even professor now cannot even compete with me. I'm very sorry to say.
Are you not the one telling us that PhD are driving a truck for Dangote in Lekki?
No, but
PhD holders.
But there was a time that Dangote brought out an advertisement about driver, and I read that 4 PhD holder apply for that driving truck, and a lot of I think about 200 masters holder. Then when you're talking about degree holder or that one, they are over 1,000.
The degree, first degree is school start now.
Exactly. So now this one also brings me back to issue of firearm, because we will be talking about that. In Canada, that is telling people that it's silly or silicon or whatever, or whatever you say. If you still graduate here as a school, if you finish your high school diploma, you can still get good job. You driving a very nice vehicle, which professor in Nigeria cannot even drive. But he is saying even those who don't even go to school, they will still get job and they can still feed themselves. But the same Nigeria is talking about now, professor cannot even feed himself. They will still call those people living abroad that they need help. So what kind of fun is that?
Which period are you identifying as that purple period, and who was your name as the best president? I know they've all been bad, but out of that bad bunch, who do you think at least he did maybe even 1% or whatever? And which period in the history are you saying?
The one I really know very much is Awolowo time. That was Shagari.
Yeah, but okay, Shagari. Okay, yeah.
That I really know much about. But the issue of Tafawa Balewa, I read about it and I watched documentary about it. But for that of Awolowo, I know at least little bit that I know how everything was going at that time. So I would take that as number one, because I at the time of Tafawa Balewa, I was not born at that time. But I watched the documentary. So I would say Shagari time, because I really know exactly what is going on very well at that time. So I would say Shagari time. Though Shagari also at that time there was the issue of corruption and all kind of thing going on.
Yeah, Umaru Diko and all the rest of it.
Umaru Diko that they have to transport it from England.
The same Buhari. Yeah.
So through casket to Nigeria. So I would say that time is still okay. Then the second one I would say Obasanjo. Why I would say that is that
military or the civilian?
Civilian.
Obasanjo. Okay.
Obasanjo. Because at that time that one also I have already grown up very, very well at that time.
Yeah.
And I know as so you can see a lot of people buying vehicle, a lot of people are doing good, building houses. Even he increased the salary of teacher from 600 naira to over 1,000 naira at that time, or maybe about 5,000, 6,000 per month at that time, from 600 naira. So he increased the money, then they can buy. They were able to buy vehicle, build houses and stuff like that. They are living good, and also bring issue of internet and phone that we are enjoying today.
Yes,
he brought it in.
Yeah, he brought it in. Yes,
and I can tell you, my father-in-law said that even for every single thing, the only thing that he appreciated most is for this issue of phone, because somebody can just be in abroad and you can just within a few seconds you've already discuss everything you want to discuss in paper that will take 10 pages of paper. So at that time was okay. Then the third one I would pick is Yaradua.
What about Babangida?
Babangida.
Leaving aside June 12.
Yeah, Babangida also.
He built Third Mainland Bridge. He built Abuja.
He tried also, but he's also so corrupt.
Yeah,
and it's not as worst as this of Buhari.
No, this is the worst we've ever seen.
We can say Babangida. I can say Babangida is not tribalist person.
No. He made Ransom Kuti health minister, even though the Kuti family hated him.
Exactly. So but for the worst president I ever come across in history is this Buhari. And as we always say, I think there is an agenda they really have. Because remember, the first term of his tenure, he was doing considerably okay.
Remember during that period, maybe you were too young, but during that period, that was when they had that war against indiscipline, and was putting soldiers in Yaba to be flogging people.
I know that time that was why I know that time very well. That was why I supported him. The first time, believing that he's going to sanitize everywhere, he's going to make everything good. I'm not talking of the military regime. I know that very well. I know that everything was in order at that time, and he was not the person that was doing it. It was Tunde Idiagbon. That, if you remember, it was Tunde Idiagbon that spearheaded everything, that is controlling everything at that time. Not even Buhari. Buhari was just head of state at that time. But due to what he did at that time, that was why I supported him. in 2015 that okay, well, it will bring sanity to Nigeria, and because to me, what's the name of this former president?
Goodluck Jonathan.
He will have been a good person also, but the issue of discerning Madueke and all kind of $40 billion and living flamboyant life and taking all the money away and all kind of corruption all everywhere. That is why I didn't like. I didn't support Goodluck for second term. Then we believe that okay, let's just try Buhari because he's no nonsense man. He is going to flush everything, but he is the most corrupted.
It's the worst we've ever seen. I'm not sure that country, whether it breaks up or not, I don't think that country will really survive. It will take another 30, 40 years for that country to survive Buhari, unless there's some real change. Should I give you my top three? Because I put the question to everybody.
Yeah.
My own top three personally will be Obasanjo. I would agree with that for the reasons that you stated. He more or less wiped out the debt of that country. He negotiated us out of debt. He introduced this internet technology now, which is what is feeding a lot of people now within the Nigerian space, and the mobile phone as well. He brought that in. So for that alone, he gets my thing. And then after him, I will have Babangida, because Babangida did a lot of infrastructural work within the Nigerian space. And this two-tier sort of system that we're running, he battered it as well with the what's it, SDP or something like that.
SDP and NRC.
Yes. So he battered that as well, and especially that third mainland bridge, he built that as well. But then, of course, he damaged his name with the corruption. So I'll probably put him number 3, but I'll put number 2 as Goodluck Jonathan, because Goodluck Jonathan, he did a lot for Nigeria. He understood that the problem was in the north, and he was using Awolowo's template to introduce education into that space. You remember he was building all these Almajiri schools and all this endless stuff. So he was doing that, and he was building railway systems within the Nigerian space. He built Kaduna to Abuja. He started off this Lagos Ibadan. He did. He had already perfected the plans for the second Niger bridge, and he had already put down the counterpart funding. So it's a Goodluck Jonathan. So he was, if he came back again, he would have done better. But then, of course, that is my own. Professor Data, you are late. You see that Isaac is making his closing remarks, but we'll let Isaac finish, and then I'll bring you in. Or Isaac, are you happy to stay, or do you want just to round off and?
So you are right with your opinion based on your explanation too. I think you are right, but that is my own. That is my own opinion.
That is the thing.
So that is it. But in everything, I just want to have a very nice country that I can be proud of, because I can tell you I am not proud of Nigeria at all. I want a place where I can proud that okay, this is my country that I can boast of, not Nigeria, because Nigeria is not one of those countries. I could remember. I'm going to bring something to your attention. When I start having problem with my nationality, I was to apply for British Army. That was in 2006.
You've been at it for a long time. You saw me smile, Abi. I will say that we are just going back to Fayemi, that Nigeria has no anywhere to get out.
So I left Nigeria already at that time anyway. I way left Nigeria at that time.
Yeah.
So then I applied for British Army outside Nigeria. Then they said to me, I was in Antigua at that time. Then they said to me that I'm very sorry, sir. We will have invited you to come to UK. They listed everything, but there is only one clause, because Nigeria is not one of those countries that we can verify truthful information. I think I supposed to still have that letter in my bag. In fact, I was so dejected. I said, seriously? Nigeria is not one of those countries that they can really verify information, because the information they are going to give them is not going to be genuine. Seriously?
Isaac, I want to bring in a new voice. I'm Professor Data O. I see you, and Ayo, I see you as well. But we've got a new person that is just joining us. So I want to bring this voice in, at least just so we hear the voice and then hear how she is positioned. So we have Rennie Aben joining us. Rennie, how are you?
Yeah, hi. Are you getting me?
Yes, we are getting you. Can you introduce yourself and then tell us where you are in the conversation?
First time of ever joining. This is my first time of ever joining anything like this.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome.
I am from Cameroon. You should be surprised.
You're from where? Professor Data O, and I see you as well. But we've got a new person that is just joining us. So I want to bring this voice in, at least just so we hear the voice and then hear how she is positioned. So we have a. So if you can turn that thing down or use a headphone.
Yeah, hi. Are you getting me?
Yes, we're getting you. Can you introduce yourself?
Mute your YouTube. Mute your YouTube. Mute your YouTube, please.
Okay, you can speak now, so we can hear you. Introduce yourself again, and then tell us. Yeah, no, just carry on. Introduce yourself and tell us where you are in the conversation.
Should I talk?
No, carry on. Introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like to talk. No, don't worry about it. Just carry on.
Just mute your YouTube.
No, I'm not sure that she would be able to. Just carry on. Introduce yourself and tell us where. I'm really keen to hear from her. Rennie, can you hear me? That's a shame because I wanted to hear from her. I'm always keen to hear new voices just to see what new perspective is going to be introduced. But I think she's struggling with the system. I think she's actually muted herself now. Professor Dr. O, rescue us.
Okay, let me start with what I heard, like classifying presidents according to their performance. I think I'm going to go with Isaac's classification and yours, I think almost the same. Obasanjo the first. In addition to all what you said about Obasanjo, there's something Obasanjo did I liked. He tried to equate positions in the country with, will I call it, ethnic groups in order to balance the situation. That's one thing that man did I liked so much. Like it's true that I'm an Igbo, but throughout his regime, he ensured that the Senate president was an Igbo person. Again, there's something again that he did. I don't know if it was said on this, but I heard it from a lot of people. I learned that somehow he tried to distribute the weapons of the country within the ethnic zones. And I learned when this man Buhari came in, he made sure he centralized it towards the north. I heard that's something OBJ did I liked very well. Now, based on the theme you gave this program, I want to say this. Is that Femi what? I don't know if Femi Bami or what. Was he saying that Nigeria is better than Canada?
No, I don't know why. No, what he's saying, he was trying to discourage, because it looks as though Canada, over the last few years or so, they've been opening that corridor for Nigerians to migrate there, especially young Nigerians. And Isaac was explaining that they are looking to populate their country because it's so vast, and they're not really they're not giving birth and this is something you find all over the West actually. Once they have one kid or so, that's it. So they are looking to repopulate, and of course they see how Nigerians are performing all over the world. So they're opening that corridor for Nigerians. So a lot of Nigerians are migrating to Canada en masse. So in this speech that Fayemi was giving to young Nigerians, he was then saying to them that don't go to Canada because of course there will be a glass ceiling for you by virtue of your race. And what Isaac was saying to counter that is that the justice minister in Canada is actually a Nigerian-born and trained person, so there is no that glass ceiling. And we were mocking the idea of a glass ceiling in Canada when a Yoruba man cannot be the chief of army staff, and an Igbo man cannot be the national security advisor, and everybody everywhere is Hausa Fulani all the way through, and even getting a job is a glass ceiling in Nigeria. So we were just mocking that, Prof.
Okay. You know, I pity the, you know, his height. You know, I don't blame the man that said this, because he's just playing his role as someone that was appointed in a political position. I don't blame him, but he should. But he's trying to. He thinks that he can cover the truth from the eyes of Nigerians. See, the situation that has come to this country, Nigeria, has come to the extent some people are ready to be slaves in another man's land than here. Not really because they like the slavery, but because in that state they will be able to earn money and live well. Like I was telling people why I am here in United States, I was telling them that if you want to browse, you just go to the public library. Enter the library, they give you time to browse. If that one finishes, they give you again. This is just free of charge. If you have
the safety alone, the security and the safety, just being able to sleep at night alone is enough.
You see, you pay your electric bill. As far as you pay, one thing in this part of the world I observed is once you're up doing and working, paying your bills, you won't have problem, and also live a genuine state of life. The problem here is if you begin to live crooked, they won't put surveillance on you. But once they find out, detect anything going wrong, the next thing they put surveillance. And with that surveillance, if they find out, you'll be in trouble. I was telling someone, I've told a lot of people, I told them the thing there is that if you come here, you just have to just be truthful. If you tell them your name is AB, maintain that name AB. The day they find out it's AC, you'll be in problems. So, you know, that is something, you know, that will continue attracting people to this part of the world. You know, the governors in Nigeria, they should just tell themselves the bitter truth. You know, if they continue to dwell in that lies, we're not going anywhere.
And I think his comment is also part of the politics of 2023 as well. But before I go to Ayo, let me take your running order, because I'm not quite clear on your running order. The top three Nigerian presidents, top three. We know they're all bad, so let's not do that, but just top three out of the bad ones.
Okay, I have given Obasanjo.
Where does he go? Number one, okay.
Yeah, number one. I give good luck. Number two.
Why?
Why I give good luck number two is this man, I would say he entered power. It's true that he entered power in a kind of like shade of luck, but he found his problem will be from the north. He did his best to condole it. He did his best to please it, and he did not, he did not like outburst himself, like getting annoyed, because he really channeled a lot of resources to the north, and upon that they did not they did not show appreciation. And again, you see that election of 2015, he knew that election was rigged. No, he knew that, he knew it was rigged. And again, you see good luck.
He just didn't want blood on his hands. That's why he just
didn't want blood on his hand. There's somebody it will be. Instead, let hell begin to fall. I appreciate him for that. And we all know this current let me just mention the so kind man in Aso Rock. He, in the election of him and what's his name, Atiku. To me, I feel Atiku won that election.
No, without a doubt, and by clear margin, because you cannot say what people experienced from 2015 to 2019 that they chose to re-elect Buhari. Absolutely impossible. They just wrote results. They just wrote results.
Yeah, and he did not live up to expectation. You know, he shot as whoever remained the
number three. Who is your number three? So we can hear from you as well.
Okay, the number three is dicey, but in a way, I will give it to IBB.
Okay.
Because of I know he did the queue and came in, but when he came in, he tried to like mellow down people. There's something IBB did when he was in power. When he sees someone is like becoming a problem, he will find a way to just settle those people.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Uno like dollar.
Yeah, he will just find a way to settle the people like that, you know. And I like the third Midland Bridge he built. That thing is not something you just wake up and build. He did
that was an engineering feat. Up to a couple of years ago, it was the longest bridge in Africa.
Yeah. So, you know, it's not something you can just get like that. So I think
Abuja too. He built Abuja.
Exactly, yeah. So that is something I will ever remain commending him.
Your daughter is getting more famous than you.
No, this time is my son. One of my sons, he came, he said it's water. Thank God I saw water and I've given him water.
Yeah,
so
we can see you're a lovely father if your children are gathering around you. Let's hear from don't go. Let's hear from Ayo as you give him water. Ayo, are you there? Ayo.
You hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, hi, how are you? Yeah,
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. So just in the course of whatever it is that you're saying, that's our top 3 list, and maybe just summarize reasons why. So off you go.
Yeah, so I pretty much will start with the caveat that the highest grade is a D. So we don't have really, we've never had any performing leaders. All our leaders have been mediocre for the most part. So the highest grade for any of our leaders would be a D. And and the reason for that isn't necessarily their fault. They've had to lead under a very constrained constitution. The problem in Nigeria has always been its constitution. I mean, ever since 1963, was it 1967, where that original constitution got sort of like sidelined. Our primary problem has been that constitution. I know it's always easier to assign blame to individuals, and some have tried more than others, but ultimately the problem has always been that constitution. Now, bearing in fact that the highest grade is a D, I would say the best leader we've ever had would have been Obasanjo, and I say that very begrudgingly. I mean, he's been the only Nigerian who's ruled the longest. He was president for 8 years, and then he was president for 4 years. So he's the only guy in the history of Nigeria who's ruled for 12 years. And his performance, he wasn't courageous. I think as a person, deep down, I think he wants to do the right thing, but he's been so programmed for, I don't want to say obedience, but he just didn't
he's
have,
a military man, isn't he? So
right, but he wasn't courageous, because he could have fixed a lot of our problems. Primarily the constitution. If there was one guy, one Nigerian who could have avoided all these problems that we're going through right now by showing some courage, it would have been Obasanjo.
I agree.
Maybe his first 4 years when he was the military president, fine. You know, we were just coming out of the Civil War. Things were a little dicey. He didn't want to rock the boat. He just wanted to hand over to a civilian president. Fine. And then maybe after, Abacha died and he became the civilian president, obviously he was imprisoned. He was probably just thinking, oh, well, let me not rock the boat.
He was discombobulated.
Right. But he has no excuse. For his second term as a civilian president, this guy had no excuse to eliminate all our problems. Now, as far as performance goes, yes, good. He brought Nigeria online, and he did a few good things. He got rid of our debts. That was probably his greatest achievement till date.
Yes, yes.
With the help of Ngozi. Oh yeah, exactly. So as far as tangible achievements go, he's probably done the best, but it's still below par in that he could have done so much.
Number two,
if he had courage. Number two, I would say number two would be the president we never had, which was Abiola.
Well, no, you can't. No, I can't let you do that. Because if we did that, then I'll just say Awo 1, 2, 3, because Awo is the best president.
Right. Well, but Awo was never elected as president.
Yes.
Abiola was, and it was nullified.
And by the way, do you think they should now announce, just really an add-on, do you think it is now time, because they've, to all intents and purposes, done it, but should they now officially now declare that guy as the winner of that election and declare him as a posthumous president?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's really just gonna be very ornamental if they do.
Well, it's setting things right. It's setting things right, because that was the will of the Nigerian people. So it will be setting things right.
Right. But it may just sort of like bring up past emotions that most people have buried, because we were just at such a critical point when he won, and everyone knew he won, and for whatever reason, Babangida just didn't have the courage to hand over to him. And I'm not sure if you've heard the story where Babangida was like, "Oh, my life was at risk."
Yeah, it was captive. It was Jerry Maria Husseini and the rest of them that were.
And Abacha,
they told him that they'll finish him if he did it.
But the reality is, though, Babangida, he was the president, and if he wanted to push it through, I mean, the buck stops with him. Sure, maybe he had a few influential key members in his cabal, but if he showed courage, I think the problem of Nigeria has always been courageous leadership, and the only time that we've had a leader that has "I don't give a shit" courage is now with Buhari, but it's for the wrong reason.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, he's
it's the bravest president we've ever had.
He's like, I don't give a shit. I am pushing through this Fulani Islamization agenda. Anyone who don't like it can kiss my ass. This is what this guy is doing right now. We've never had a president with
by
such
distance. If you combine the courage of all of them together, they are not even 10% of the courage of Buhari. But alas, look at the sort of person he is.
Right, and it just goes to show you how the Fulani are. And I'm not trying to typecast any.
No. I agree.
The reality is, they just have a very ridiculous mindset. So Babangida wasn't Fulani; he was Nupe.
So who was your number two? Because I'm not allowing Abiola because go on. Who was your number two?
So number two, I would say Jonathan. Yes. Jonathan, in the sense that he was super corrupt with his, what was her name? Denazi, that
the old woman.
Yeah. He was super corrupt, but he even had less courage. Well, I mean, of course he had less courage than Obasanjo, but he didn't have any courage. Once again, I think he meant well. I think he was well-intentioned, but leadership requires courage. If you're a good leader and you don't have courage, it's really just a waste. This guy didn't have much courage at all. Jonathan, and he didn't have much courage at all. He allowed his cabinet and his
to run amok.
He just allowed them to run amok with corruption and, I mean, untold looting. I mean, on the scale
unbelievable.
I mean,
it's just funny that Buhari is now beating his record.
I'm sorry?
I said it's just funny that Buhari is now immediately beating his record. We thought the biggest looting we would see we thought the biggest was going to be Babangida, then Abacha came. And then we thought the biggest would be Abacha. Now we anyway, so who's your number three? Number
three, I don't know. I mean, I was in uni when Babangida was president, and I'm sorry, man, I can't. They've all been disastrous. So I would say 1 and 2. All the other ones are just too low.
Throw them in the bin.
I'm sorry. I just can't. I would say Obasanjo, and that's a D. And Jonathan, and
which is also D minus.
He's a D minus as well.
Yes.
And all the other ones are failures. So there's no point sort of like even grading them at all. In my opinion.
Can you see? Did you notice anything in what you just said?
Like what?
The two that you rated. Where are they from?
Well, I mean, they're Southerners, and
there you go.
Well, I mean, I think go on.
And you've not done that deliberately, but you've not done that deliberately. That's
no, I haven't.
Honest assessment. Yeah.
Go on could have been a good leader, but I think he was. I don't want to say he was constrained.
That civil war has permanently.
I think he really intended for the Aburi Accord to go through when he met with Ojukwu in Ghana. You know, I think his intentions were well-meaning. I think he was like, okay, if this is what it's going to take to avoid a civil war, then we'll go back to what the original Nigerian structure was, and then he went back to his cabal, and they were like, nope, we're Northerners, and we got to rule over these fuckers. And pardon my French. And that's just the mindset they have, and that's why it's impossible to be with these guys. Everyone who is saying one Nigeria, these guys they're not people you can live with. They're just not. You have to conquer them, or just leave them on their own.
But that is exactly their understanding. Their understanding of life, their philosophy is conquer or be conquered. You see?
Right.
So they don't really see what the argument is that we are having, because it's a clash. I always say this is a clash of civilization. So they don't get it what we are saying, because they have this feudal system that they've always had, which is linked to religion and culture. And we, of course, have this system that is a more democratized, sort of like society-based, everybody together sort of like a mindset, which is anatomic to them as ours, as theirs is anatomic to us. So it's just we can go 10 billion years and we will never really form anything with these people.
Right. I mean, it's hopeless. It's hopeless thinking that you're going to restructure or talk to these people on a level where things will start to make sense, because they don't operate on executive function.